Hi, my name is Allison Livingston. This is 5 Steps to Connect. Become the CEO of your reactions so that you don't dump them on the ones you love. And this week's connection story is inspired by a mom who contacted me this week who told me about her very challenging 3.5-year-old. And it reminded me so much of my own challenging, strong willed, spirited 3.5-year-old many years ago that I just wanted to really speak to that. She told me a couple of examples of her daughter being asked not to come back to her preschool, of there being a biting and hitting incident with another child, of running away and when it was time to leave the park. And so I just wanted to mostly address how hard this is and how triggering it is, and just to give ourselves so much compassion, so much just acknowledgement for why parenting is the hardest job on earth when we are faced with challenging behavior. So that's the first thing. Then I want to go through one of her examples and just kind of pull it apart, slow it down, and see if I can shed any light on some tools that can be used. The key is that these children come out of the womb this way. It's a personality type that I've experienced talking to many parents and experiencing my own. And one of the key learnings I had is that she's not doing it to me, that she is just being her own self, and this is what's occurring to her, that she's needing power in her world, that being vulnerable is so scary to her, and that this is how she's needing to grow up. So one of the key points is that we can't change their makeup, and yet we don't want to be miserable. So then what? So what I've figured out is that the more tools I can have, and there's 5 in my basic class, is to not go like this to each other, right? If I can keep on track and she can keep on track, and we know that this is me and my values and feelings and thoughts, and this is her and her values and feelings and thoughts, and if we can just keep out from going like this, because then we enmesh and then we're fighting and then we're reacting and then we just make everything worse and we're lost. So breathe. Some of the main tools when you're in the middle of my daughter just ran the opposite direction when I told her it was time to leave the park. So transitions are hard for most kids, especially these challenging children. And so let's use that as an example in our brief time together. So one of the things is your daughter has just said, no, and run away. This is what you experience, right? Your whole limbic system starts breathing shallowly and fast. Your fists clench, your jaw clenches, you get hot, you maybe get sweaty, and you feel hopeless, you feel stuck, you feel enraged. You're triggered. You are ready for fight, flight, freeze, and survival. Your system feels like it has been threatened. And so a couple of things to help you bring your limbic system down is deep belly breaths. For me, it helps with a mantra. She is not trying to do this to me. She is not trying to do this to me. So that I can have any hope of seeing her as this hurt puppy that was having so much fun at the park and hates to be told what to do. It's like one of her triggers. And so she just did the flight from fight, flight, freeze. And she made it into a big game where she could have some agency and some power because she was really feeling scared and sad that she had to interrupt her play when she was in the middle. And she wants to be the one who says when we leave the park. So, one of the things that I found worked well with my daughter is giving her a lot of choice. Like, we have to leave in the next 5 minutes. Why don't you be the one who tells us when we go? So, if you can give her some, I love the word agency, it's some power in her world, that will calm her own system so that then she's much more able to go with the flow as much as they ever are. So that's one thing of just broadcasting to yourself, breathing, a mantra. She's not doing this to me. And the broadcasting, if she does keep running in the other way and just is really obstinate and isn't even in earshot to be able to have a conversation with, just go, wow, this is really hard. This is so frustrating. I did a special thing going out of my way to get her to the park, and this is the thanks I get. So one of the things is noticing all the thoughts I'm putting on top of she ran the other direction and said, no, I'm not going. How much analysis, how much labeling, how much other stuff am I co-creating and putting on this, which is called the second arrow. So just if I can, notice my own thoughts and again, give myself compassion. This is hard. This is so frustrating. I am tired. I am just wanting to get home so I can have my glass of wine and relax and get all the other things we need to done because we still have to make dinner and pick up and bath and bed. So when I'm going to future thinking, just can I be in this moment? Can I accept this moment and find any humor? Find any compassion for her or for me, and just try to say, this is my isness, this is the moment. The one thing I will say is if there is a health and safety concern, like she's going towards a major street, that's when you don't try to work with her emotion, your emotion, you just go and make sure she's safe. So there's kind of two different scenarios here. But if she's just trying to exert her own power, is there a way I can help her do that and still get what I need, because I matter too, and get us into the car so that we can keep our day going? So those are the main things. I'm trying to think of another one about just how to not get entangled. The most important thing for how not to make it worse, and this is so hard. I wish I could give you a magic wand and say, here it is, and do this, and every time it'll work, and you will be in bliss and harmony. But with challenging behavior, they're trying to meet a need, and it's a strategy that is not working for the needs you're trying to meet. So it's just hard. And there were so many times when I just wanted to throttle her. And I didn't want to get to a point where I didn't enjoy living together. And so I just want to encourage you that she's trying to meet needs. She has a lot of emotions and they're intense. And give yourself care as much as possible, even just for a few short minutes of breathing, of thinking of when a time then you were happy recently, and maybe even something you're looking forward to. But just try to give yourself resource so that you have the patience and the stamina to work with her. And one of the things, again, is just notice if you do go to past or future thoughts, this will never get better. She's always like this. That doesn't help us see the present moment right now. And because the whole point is to try and connect to my inner resource, my limitless values energy, my wholeness, the part that can never get upset or take things personally. So in this moment of challenge, how can I remind myself that that is always there? I always have access to that if I can calm my mind and my reaction. So I encourage you to just be where you are. Let your child be where they are. That no one is trying to do this to each other. And as much as you can, see the humor, give them a little power, and just good luck. It won't last forever, and you are not alone. Thanks, and have a great week.